Max, are we expecting anybody else?
Not that I know of, Mayor.
Okay.
I believe everybody's here.
Okay. I'll serve as acting chair today, and at an appropriate time in the meeting, I'll ask Judge Cassidy. We've had a conversation about the permanent chair for this year, and we'll like to share that with the members.
Yes, sir.
I'll call the meeting to order now. And the first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes for the January 28th meeting. And for the convenience of the members, the minutes are included in our packet in pages 1 to 4. Max, do you have anything to add or to supplement?
No, Mayor.
For the minutes, are we okay?
I think we're okay. We've prepared those minutes, went over them very meticulously, but if anybody sees anything that they would like to change or note. Okay,
so we can ask for a motion to approve the minutes. So moved. There's a motion by Judge Cassidy. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Burke. Is there any discussion on the minutes, on the motion? If not, we'll ask for a vote then. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion carries. Okay, second on our business items is call for citizen and public comment. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to offer a public comment? All right. Hearing none, we can move on to item number 3 on the agenda, which is a welcome to the new Transportation Policy Committee members. That includes Councilmember Doug Martin, who's here with us today. Doug, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor.
Doug represents Districts 9, 10, and 12. That's southwest Lexington and parts of rural Fayette County. Doug, thanks for joining us. Councilmember Peggy Henson represents Council Districts 3, 5, and 11, which is the central parts of Lexington. And Peggy's not here with us. She may join us later.
Possibly.
Also want to recognize Councilmember Jay McCord for his service on the TPC for his full term, or the terms of his
many years.
His full tenure rather than term.
Mm-hmm. I think so. That's correct, Mayor.
Jay has been very active.
Yes.
On the committee.
Yes.
Okay, we've got a number of action items. Beginning with item number 1, which is the request for TPC approval of the proposed MPO prospectus language revision for appointment procedure, Fayette County TPC representative. That's page 5. Procedurally, do we get a motion on each one of these and vote on them? Or what do we need to do?
I believe so. That's all right. That's been what we have done in the past, and I think these would merit those.
Can we get them one at a time, or do we lump them together?
I think one at a time.
All right. Okay. Then this item number 1 is on page 5. Is there a motion on item number 1? Any comment from you, Max? Do you need to inform us on this at all?
I just wanted to say that my purpose in putting this in here is just to have our prospectus correct in the procedures. However, I leave this to the council fully to decide, and my goal is to just have the prospectus reflect the wishes of the council. The previous version had said that the Urban County Council would just elect or appoint members to the TPC. We have had vice mayors in the past elect or appoint members to the TPC, and Vice Mayor Gordon had enacted that this cycle, but I just want to leave that to you all's discussion discretion and get it correct in the prospectus. That's all I have, Mayor, on that.
So, okay, I'm trying to, was this added, this is added as an action, okay.
Yes, if you look on page 5, I have I have it underlined there but all I really changed was I said vice mayor will appoint as necessary one representative. The previous version said Urban County Council will elect one representative, and that had been just handled in the past.
I don't remember how it was handled in the past. The Vice Mayor had mentioned to me an issue related to the timing of the meeting. Mm-hmm. Is that on the agenda?
Oh, yes, Mayor. That's the last item as far as new business in the agenda. Right. She has a letter that I've included in the packet.
Okay. All right. All right. Is there any discussion? Is there a motion related to this? So, Judge, we've got a motion from the judge and a second. Well, let's see. We've got a motion. Wait just a second. John, you gave us the motion, so we need a second from somebody else. Judge, second from Councilmember Blues. All right, sir. Is there any discussion on it? Councilmember Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. This is something that affects the members of the MPO that are from the Urban County Council. I think this came up, there was some confusion about my particular appointment because I guess apparently the tradition of the staff was to have the Vice Mayor appoint the members of the council, even though this document says that the council was to elect the members. I don't think there's anything particularly complicated by having the council elect the members. I think it sort of takes the politics out of it. And I know in some years past, while we have a pretty nice relationship now, in some years past that has been fairly rocky, but no offense, Rocky. And so I guess I am not going to support this because I think that it's just kind of fine the way it is. We just need to actually do what it says, which is run it through a blue sheet it and run it through the council. I think that's a fairly simple way to address that. I think the existing language was not complicated, just wasn't being followed. So, but I kind of like having the council do it because it sort of takes the politics out of it. I don't know what the reason to have these be political appointments. So, thank you, Mayor.
All right. Is there any other? John, yes, sir. Yeah, John, can you punch that? Yeah, that
okay. Comment on behalf of the Office of the Fayette County Judge Executive. As you know, I've suggested that there need to be a constitutional amendment to eliminate the office I now hold. And I would suggest that the 12th District Council person who represents primarily the rural area be a permanent member of this committee in case at some point in time there is a constitutional amendment which will eliminate the office of the Fayette County Judge Executive.
All right, maybe John, can we take that up as a separate item after we get through this
I have
item?
no objection.
All right, is there any other comment? I was going to say, Chris, if you got, I'm just trying to dial back and sort of put the pieces together. In my role as vice mayor, I didn't have an appointing authority, and on this, it seemed to work okay. I guess, is that what you're saying, Councilmember Martin? I don't think I don't remember appointing authority.
Yeah, this just, I think the existing language says that the council shall elect, and so it was to the council, and then so when the appointments were being made by the vice mayor, I sort of was wondering whether that was actually accurate, so I think that's where the confusion lies.
And let me say, staff doesn't care. It's just that in past years when we had a vacancy, we had been told at one point, and I don't believe it was in your term, Mayor, that the vice mayor had that authority on behalf of the council.
Okay.
And then when the question was raised here recently by Councilmember Martin, we were just trying to get the perspective and alignment, perspective what we understood the practice to be. If the practice is that the full council elects them, staff has no issue with that. We just want to have the two practices in alignment.
Okay, Councilmember Kay and then Councilmember Beard.
Thank you, Mayor. I guess I see it a little differently from Councilmember Martin. I think it's just a matter of efficiency. The vice mayor now has appointing responsibilities for many of the committees, subcommittees, et cetera, of council, and I see no problem with having the vice mayor continue to do it. If it's the whole council, then it has to go through a much more complicated process. And I guess I'm not worried about the politics.
Okay. Councilmember Beard.
Well, I guess Councilmember Kay and I are on the same page with this. It seems like the council, the mechanism for us as a council to appoint members would be very unwieldy. And we might not get a sprinkling of districts that we have in this situation. They might all be packed in one area or whatever, and that's not where we need to be, I don't think. So I would support keeping it as it is.
Councilmember Blues.
I'd agree with that sentiment. It's in my experience, and admittedly it's only a little over 4 years, there's been no politics involved in this, but if we're making a decision on what's likely to be political, I'd say it's, you're matching 15 politicians choosing a committee against one, so I'm not going to support the motion either. Thank you. I mean, I am going to support the motion, sorry.
Yeah, you seconded it.
No, you don't have to worry about politics, just incompetence.
Yeah, right, okay.
That's another reason we don't want council making the appointment.
Okay. I was trying to recall whether or not in my tenure, and
No, I think everybody there was no turnover at that point.
I thought there was an automatic,
Right.
it was an autopilot model. So where discretion is allowed, then this will govern, right? A new appointment is required, right? Okay.
Correct.
I mean, from my point of view, then the efficiency model does work well. That proposal makes sense from my point of view. Anybody else? Yeah, Doug.
Yeah, just to follow up, the existing language it brings people from each of those 3 districts in the same way. The only difference so the comment about, having it be a council at large I think is not accurate. The existing language, which has been here for 4 or 5, how many years?
It was back in late 90s when we changed that.
So the language since the late 1990s has been that the council shall elect it. So this has been obviously not too much of a problem for the last decade. So, but I think that the existing language says that the district members shall be appointed from 1, 2, and 6, and then 3, 5, and 11, and just the same way that it has here. And so that language hasn't changed. It's just that I mean the issue that came up because the appointments hadn't been made until late March, I guess it was. So I think that I think the only confusion here was that the existing policy had been sort of strayed from. So I guess I again urge my fellow members of the MPO to support this, to oppose the motion. Thank you.
All right. Is there any other comments or to the question or to the issue? All right, if not, then we're ready to vote. All in favor, please indicate all in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? No. All right, motion carries. Okay, next issue. Our next item on our agenda.
That is
Item number two,
actually.
right.
And
Request.
yes, go ahead, Mayor, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, you can explain it to us if you will, Max.
I can do that. Basically, this is we're requesting approval of the policy committee for our fiscal year 2012, which will begin in July 1st of this year, of our work program. And this is a very important key document in the eyes of the federal government, state government, of course, because this is our reference outline and guiding document for what the staff will do for our grant monies, and it pretty much lays it all out by element and cost, and it really has not changed too much from past documents in the recent years, just updated to reflect our priorities this year and so forth. And we would just, we had sent that out according to the schedule for everybody to review. We have received many comments and have addressed all those comments and considerations, made those changes. And I just want you to know that we can still make changes, even though you know, we approve the document, we can improve, we can enhance and make sure it's readable and understandable and so forth. I don't believe that, you know, we can ask for approval with any other significant changes that might need to be made. But that's pretty much it in a nutshell, and I'll just ask for your approval of it so we can move forward with our contracts and funding. And then, Mayor, also there's a couple of, there's a self-certification document and also a resolution that we would ask for your signature after, if we are granted approval.
All right. All right. Is there a motion? Motion by Councilmember Blues to approve. Is there a second? Second. Got a second by, got competition for a second here. Councilmember Beard. Is there any discussion on this item? All right, hearing none. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion carries. Okay, item number 3, Max, why don't you take us through that, please?
Yes, sir. Item number 3 is a little bit confusing. However, I'll just explain to you what it is. As part of our transportation planning process in a TMA, which is Transportation Management Area, over 200,000 population, we are required by the federal government to have what's called a congestion management process. And when I say that, a lot of folks out there don't know what that really means. It's a pretty esoteric term. So in efforts to make that more clearer for anybody that might be wondering what that entails, we've put together an overview document. This is not a required document, but I would say it's a best practice. And I've done research in other MPO areas, and this seems to be a very beneficial type of document because somebody can take this and they can look through it and find out what a congestion management process is, who is involved, the stakeholders, you know, what the particular actions are, such as monitoring, evaluation, enhancement, and then solutions developed, and ultimately projects implemented to help with congestion. It doesn't have to be a project. It could be a strategy. It could be, say, operational improvements. It could be incident management, a whole toolbox of things, and a lot of those are mentioned in here. And so this document is just basically a document to help explain what this nebulous process is, and definitely would like to get you to accept it, not approve it or adopt it, but accept it as part of our transportation planning process here in Central Kentucky. That's pretty much the explanation that I would give you for that.
Okay.
And Mayor, I could add that it's pretty technical. You get into performance measures and travel time.
Have you presented, has this been presented? I may have not been at a session where it was presented. Has it been presented to the committee?
Various members of, it's been more, has come from our technical subcommittees and our technical committee, and now it's been through several versions, but not to you all. Right, but not, yeah, right, not to the policy committee yet. I was just going to say, given the technical nature, we could spend time with any of you at any time, or even do a session that would explain it in more detail, if you would like. I definitely would offer that. But it's been vetted in so many of the committee's time and effort that we feel that we have a pretty good document here. But if you all would like to, you know, take some more time to approve, to review it.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, I'm just curious as to the context and maybe the history and, you know, is this iteration 1? Is it iteration 10? Is it, it's...
I think about 5. Because we've actually started, and then we realized we really have, and Mr. House may want to comment on this. He is the chairman of our congestion management committee, so that might be a good.
Yeah, let me say a few things. First, it doesn't have to be approved today, so if there's an interest in learning more about it, then I think the staff can come back and give a presentation. But as Max says, this is a required process for urban areas over 200,000. But not only is it required, it's also something that I want to stress, a very important process. And I'd like to encourage all the members to read this document and get involved in that process. It is a tool that will be used to identify projects to address congestion and other congestion mitigation measures. It's a tool that will be used to prioritize projects that are in the transportation plan, and it's really a filter through which all future projects should pass according to the federal regulation. So it is an important process, and today it's an important process, but it may become much more important. I'd like to ask you to look at page 4, the bottom paragraph there on page 4. And I'll just quickly read a few words. The regulations stipulate that in a TMA designated as a non-attainment, an air quality non-attainment area. Fortunately, Lexington is in attainment right now, but should we become a non-attainment area, then either because of the standards being lowered, which may well happen, or because air quality worsens over time, which hopefully won't happen. But anyway, if we become designated as a non-attainment area, then federal funds may not be programmed for any project that will result in a significant increase in the carrying capacity of single occupancy vehicles unless the project is addressed through a compliant congestion management process. So basically what's that saying? If we wanted to widen Leestown Road or widen New Circle Road by adding lanes, we wouldn't be able to do that unless that project comes out of and passes through this process. So obviously it's very important.
Okay. Well, as chair, I'll ask for a motion to accept the process. Is there a motion? There's a motion by Councilmember Kay. Is there a second? Second by Councilmember Blue. Councilmember Beard. Is there any comment? Any comment? Yeah, Councilmember Martin.
Thank you, Mayor. While I traditionally like to have folks walk us through particularly technical documents, I'm willing to support this, but I would like some time for you all to walk us through this, because I think, particularly for a new member, it helps me understand and get educated about a lot of the procedures and things like that, even though they are technical. So maybe sometime we can walk through this.
Yes, we could do that, and we could do that probably pretty, efficiently in the next meeting, if you would like to take maybe 10, 15 minutes of the next meeting. We can prepare a presentation and do that. Very appropriate.
Okay. Why don't you let's put that on the agenda then.
Will do. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. So is there anyone else have a comment? All right. If not, then we're ready for a vote. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. All opposed, no. Motion carries. All right, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is information and discussion items. What actions we need to take here?
Mayor, we have several modifications to our transportation improvement program and transportation plan. Just want to inform you of each one of those very briefly, and then follow up on a few other items.
So is this for information, or do we need to take action?
Just information.
All right, okay. Go ahead then.
Okay, thank you. So I just wanted to cover the current modifications that we've been asked to make to our Transportation Improvement Program and our Metropolitan Transportation Plan 2035. And they start on page 9. And the first one, I'll just briefly go over these, and if you have any questions, please let me know. We have several people in the audience and here that can answer any detailed questions you may have. But if you look at administrative modification number 13, basically, we have to put the table pages in there so that when you see our tables attached to that, that's actually what goes into the documents is the modification. But Table 1, we're increasing SLX funding, which is our dedicated urbanized area funding by $130,000 for various continuing programs, and that's to cover the congestion management program and also multimodal planning activities. And we thought that was well justified. Table 2 is to increase IM, which is interstate maintenance funding, and that's $1,130,000, and that's for neoprene compression joints on the Clays Ferry Bridge. We have to have this programmed into our document before these funds can be authorized. In Table 5A, we're adding the construction and rehabilitation of administration and maintenance facilities on Loudon Avenue. I'm sure Rocky could talk about that. There's a lot of activity there. But it's basically beginning, the construction of their new facilities, which are needed and ever-growing demand on our transit system. If you look on past the tables that reflect those amount changes, you get to page 13, and that's going to be a modification number 14, and that's to increase the right-of-way cost by $1,250,000 on Clays Mill Road, which is a very active project. Next item is on Citation Boulevard. We're increasing the design cost by $50,000 in 2011 and adding a right-of-way phase at $450,000. These are very common things to occur in projects too, with right-of-way increase, right-of-way cost increases, design cost increases. These are very dynamic in their nature. Next bullet is Newtown Pike extension. There's a good one. We're decreasing the design funding to $2,584,000 and shifting that to fiscal year 2011. Moving it out a little bit. Also on Newtown Pike extension, we're adding $2.657 million of high priority project funds to the design phase in 2011. Also, Newtown Pike extension, we're removing a right-of-way phase and changing the type to utilities and construction. So therefore, that's not needed anymore, and we're moving it to the phases that are needed, and we're moving that to state transportation planning funding, STP, or I'm sorry, that's going to be surface transportation planning. Those are federal funds. And then the last one, in administrative modification number 14, another Newtown Pike extension, changing the funding type for the right-of-way phase to SPB to SPP. And basically what that means is we're changing to state priority project funding. So that out of state funds, that's going to be a high priority for the state funding. So that's probably a good thing, given that when you move from SPB to SPP, you're getting a lot more priority, and likely the funding is much more real in today's fiscal climate. And also we're increasing the amount to $18 million and shifting the utility phase to 2011. So basically just adjusting to the realities of the projects. You'll see the tables behind there that reflect those changes in our documents to be authorized. And then also administrative modification number 15. First one item in that modification is for Liberty Road. We're decreasing the right-of-way cost to $1 million. And then On Tates Creek Road, we're adding signal upgrades to that project, where we're adding street crosswalks and sidewalks, upgrading the signals to, accommodate more pedestrians safely. It's a construction cost of $250,000 in fiscal year 2011. And then the last item on that modification is to add Lexington Traffic Movement and Revitalization Study Project. It's $490,000 of a discretionary study that came to us a couple of years ago, I believe, and we're going to use that to conduct studies in the downtown area on traffic movement and revitalization, looking at moving from one-way to two-way, and making sure that we utilize those funds in a good way. Given, we want to make sure and authorize those, go forward with them, and make sure they're utilized in a productive and efficient way for our transportation system. And then lastly, we had it with Charles Schaub. He did this one in a hurry. I think he set a new record. We got a call from the state that they wanted to get this administrative modification number 16 in and get you informed of it, and that is Harrodsburg Road at New Circle Road, and that's to increase the new and accurate construction cost to $5.7 million, and we actually are changing the description of this project too, and we're calling it a double crossover diamond interchange at the intersection of Harrodsburg Road and New Circle Road. That's the new term for that. You used to hear diverging diamond, and basically you've heard of that one before. That's just to be able to get more efficient and safe operations through that major, I think it's probably one of the major, if not the major bottleneck we have in our urbanized area. And so that pretty much sums it up. I appreciate you listening to me with all that detail. And if you'd have any other questions or like more detail on it, please let us know. But that kind of sums up the modifications, Mayor.
Okay, any member got anything to ask Max about? Any comments? All right, okay. Then that will move us into new business. All right.
Yes, I have a few more items on the informational items. Shouldn't take too long, Mayor.
Okay.
One was we asked for your approval to send a letter in the policy committee's name for Polo Club Boulevard, basically changing it from a local road to an urban collector. And we wanted to get that functional class changed on the official federal system. That way it will be eligible for federal funding. So we had sent that letter, and if you look on page 22, you can see I sent that on March 10th to the Division of Planning, Mr. Keith Dameron, who's the director. And I have not received a response, but I just wanted you to see the letter, and it was sent. And I don't know if Barry, have you heard anything or not, but, oh, great.
Yeah, there's a process to evaluate requests like this, and this project it's pretty much gone through that process. All the reviews have been favorable so far, so it's very likely that the reclassification will be approved, and the MPO will be getting a response probably in the next week or so.
Great. Thank you. I just wanted to let you all know the status of that. Third item, just wanted to let you know that our federal certification review is officially set for June 21st and 22nd, and the staff has begun to prepare for that really meticulously. We're going over all the recommendations of the previous certification, and we're working with Rocky to arrange tours and look at our major projects and get the federal team around and get them to see the things they need to see. And also, they're going to be wanting to talk with you all. And so we're arranging, that meeting will be down in Nicholasville at the courthouse, so we'll have to arrange with Judge Cassidy to have them a meeting room to go through, but also they'll be wanting to meet with you and talk to you down there. So we'll get a preliminary agenda to you all very soon, and keep you all informed. But that team will be coming in, and we'll be working with them and making sure that we have a good public participation meeting. Roger and Damon, our participation planner, is working on a good venue. Thinking about Joseph Beth at this point, and looks like Joseph Beth's going to be around, so that's a good thing. So we're talking to him. I don't know, thumbs up on that, or you haven't got with him yet, but that's a place where we had a very successful meeting in the past, and it's accessible by transit, and it's very centrally located on, and accessible, and people seem to really attend the meeting in the past. So we're looking at that one, but we can, suggest other venues. But just want to let you know we're planning that. And then right along with that, Lexington is going through their triennial review with the Federal Transit Administration, and that's going to be May 25th and 26th. And we've been working with Jared and Rocky, making sure that we can demonstrate that we are fulfilling all the requirements of the Metropolitan Transportation Planning process as it relates to transit planning. And so we're going to be there standing side by side with Lexington and help them have a good review on that. So that's basically what I wanted to tell you all, is that we got these two pretty important reviews coming up. And if we get through these with efficient and I don't believe we're going to get through them without any recommendations. They always have recommendations. I think that's the old adage of you can always do better, you can always improve, and that's what we want to do. So just wanted to let you all know about that. The fifth item is, I just wanted to let you know briefly too that we might be asking you before the end of June sometime to prioritize our unscheduled project list. And basically, you have already done that when we did the plan update. However, it's been a little while since we did the plan update, so we wanted to just let you take a look at that project priority. We're going to give a top 10 list and top 10 in each tier, cost tier. The first tier would be the lowest cost, tier 2 would be the medium, and tier 3 would be the over $10 million project. So just want to make sure you still agree with that. So we'll be coming to you with that. And then lastly, Mayor, on the informational discussion items, just wanted to offer you all the chance to ask about any projects, a status or update. Definitely have engineers from the state, and we have folks here that could possibly answer any questions. If we don't have the answer, we can get back to you, but just wanted to offer that up. Fayette or Jessamine County projects. There's a list we prepared for you to see that there's the Fayette County projects, active and significant projects, and Jessamine County's list is right there. So just wanted to offer you if you had any questions. I thought that would be efficient instead of talking about every project.
This is usually a chance when we get some good interaction. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there we go.
I do have a question. The question someone asked me about the Harrisburg Road double crossover. Since this is a kind of project that's not been done before, how long do you anticipate, basically start to finish, that project will take? How much disruption?
I might defer to one of the state engineers on that. Would you like to talk about it? I know Randy's not prepared for that. We had Bob here earlier, didn't we?
We're expecting to go into a main levee.
Oh, you probably ought to come up here for the public to hear you, Randy. I'm sorry. You're right. It's definitely a new concept.
The double crossover diamond project is expected to go into a May letting with the cabinet, and once that letting, it's usually about 2 or 3 weeks before they get the contractor under contract before they can start turning dirt. So I'm going to expect, early June before they start work. And the interchange will be left open pretty much at all times, right, Ricky? Pretty much at all times. There'll be some ramp closures, but they'll be minimal, probably over weekends where you have less traffic. and should be, the whole project should be completed, you say August? Okay, yeah, they'll be driving the new configuration of the interchange, I guess, in August. So that'll be pretty much it. Now, they'll have other things. What now? Oh, yeah, November is the completion date for that project, yeah. But that encompasses a lot of things to complete it. I mean, you've got final seating and final striping, but you'll be driving on the configuration probably sometime in August. So it'll be a short project. I mean, there's not much, really not much to it, but it'll be a major change for the city of Lexington anyway.
Thank you.
What about, I'm glad you brought that up, Steve. Yes, I always go back to old aphorism of my dad. He said things are better accepted when they are understood, and it probably applies no place better than in changing traffic patterns or behaviors. And you know, we do hear a lot of anxiety associated with it. Remind us of I know you can never do enough educating and you can never do enough, but how are we actually informing, educating? What does that project look like within the context of this total project?
It's a very good question, Mayor. It's one of our concerns too, and the state's concerns. They've actually developed a website, I believe, right? And it has a lot of good information on there. They've already had, I think, one public meeting on the actual design. We've attended, and it was very good, well attended, a lot of interaction and engagement. On our MPO website, we actually have and I believe on the state website, they have a video that kind of shows visually, you know, a visual tool that shows if you're driving, you know, how you would negotiate this new intersection, and a lot of good performance, you know, kind of information from other areas that have these in place. Missouri being one of the first. Springfield, Missouri was one of the first in the United States to do this, but they're actually popping up everywhere now because they're so efficient and so safe, and everybody's kind of climbing on board. I believe, oh yeah, here's Roger. He's been very involved in the participation, so he can enhance that description.
Mayor, I wanted to also let you know that on both websites, the state's website, which you can access through District 7's website, and on our website, and especially on our Facebook site, which is Lex Area MPO, not only is there an explanation of how it works and how it operates, but there's actually videos for each direction that you want to travel. So you can look at a video that shows you how you will actually navigate it from the direction that you're going. If you're going from downtown to outbound on New Circle, or Outer Circle or Inner Circle, it'll take you in that direction and show you how you'll navigate it.
I guess this might be kind of a stupid question, but I guess I think right out of the gate that those who might be most likely to navigate a website might be least likely to navigate this double crossover. You know, I'm thinking older drivers, for example, would be the least likely to go on a website. Right. And so how are we thinking about that demographic?
Well, I think through the public meetings, we're also open to any other ideas as to how we can get the information out. I personally am hugely in favor of any options that we can use to try to get information out to the public and have. So you've got on the website now, you've got a video that's navigating through, right? Mm-hmm. How did Missouri or these other venues where the same technology was implemented, how did they, if y'all talked to, how did they educate and how did they go through the? Yeah, they had public meetings, but they also used a lot of technology to, and I believe, and I don't want to speak for the state, but I believe that KYTC took some of the examples from them to develop some of these simulations so that they could show people through the public meetings and also through technology on websites, so they could actually show you how you would navigate the double crossover.
Let me add that The actual driving maneuver will be relatively simple. It sounds complicated, but the only thing that will be required of the driver is to follow the signs and follow the striping. There'll be lots of signs and lots of striping, and it probably won't even be obvious to many drivers that they're actually crossing traffic twice. You'll just follow you'll follow the cars ahead of you, and it'll work smoothly. That's been the experience where this has been done before, and it's much simpler than going through a roundabout, for example.
I think that, that alone is informing. I think when you look at it on a plan view, it can look complex or tough, maybe, because you're going against your normal patterns of thought, right? So, well, maybe we can, might be able to, for example, just put the video on GTV.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that would be great. I think it'd be good if we did it as a PSA. So.
Okay, great. Okay. Anybody else have any comments, questions? No, Councilmember Beard. They do this. I'm just going to take a moment. They do this on purpose. They sit right beside each other. So whoever's sitting in this chair gets thoroughly confused between Beard and Blues routinely. routinely.
It's a function of aging. Who can tell me what exactly is happening with Maxwell Street and where we're going with it?
Let's see, that would probably be somebody from engineering who they couldn't attend today. Maybe Kinsey can give you some, so we'll ask her.
I mean, there is a bicycle component to this too, I think, isn't there?
Correct. I can tell you what I do know. The project is to improve and widen the sidewalks on both sides of Maxwell Street, which is what you've seen over the course of the summer. Once the sidewalks are complete, resurfacing will be done along the corridor, and they'll be adding a bike lane to the south side of the street, which will eliminate parking on that side of the street permanently. My understanding was that the contractor was supposed to be done with the sidewalk work by the end of April, but I believe the weather has impacted that work to some degree. But that's the extent of what I know about it in terms of the schedule.
Because it has been one of the pairs that have been discussed as far as two-way transit paired with High Street. And I didn't know whether this was going to hurt or help that process.
The main purpose of the project was to improve the sidewalks, so I don't know that that would have impacted that in any way. The striping on the road, of course, can always be changed.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
We'll get an update on that, I think, from engineering. I'd like to hear about it too, getting a lot of questions. Yes, sir. Okay.
We'll make sur and have, I think they had other conflicts, but we'll make sure and have the engineering folks here at the next meeting.
Let's just get back to Council Member Beard on that between, and I'd like to find out. We'll check it out through engineering. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Max. Any other comments regarding projects? Anybody? No? Okay.
Okay, Mayor, so that leads us into new business, and as you mentioned earlier, if you look on page 23, there's a letter to me from Vice Mayor Gordon, and basically she's just saying that she's been with the MPO Policy Committee, but she's been unable, or currently she's unable to attend due to her work commitment outside of government, and so accordingly she would like to request TPC members to consider changing the time of these meetings to 2:30, pushing them back a little bit. She says she's very eager to participate, and the changing of the time of the meetings would be great assistance to her and would allow her to attend regularly. She does realize and understand others on the MPO policy committee may have valid reasons for not, but she was just, thank you for considering her request, and she just looks forward to hearing from us at her earliest convenience.
I don't know the history on the 130 myself. Does anybody have any problems with it, Judge? 230 is okay? Right. All right, okay.
230, okay, well, that was easy.
We'll let Vice Mayor Gordon know that 230 sounds good.
Okay, that might, I know some,
all right,
definitely help the Jessamine County folks give a little more time in the rain get up here, so anyway.
Well, we sometimes need a little more time, yeah. Yeah, there we go. Okay. That's right, yeah, going home, but you're going to be, yeah.
Right.
That's right. A lot of value in it, okay.
Mayor, Chris just, Director, just asked that, would this be appropriate for a motion to change the schedule?
Okay, yeah, we'll ask for a motion then. Motion.
I think that's.
Judge Larson, is there a second? Second by Councilmember Blues. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion carries. Okay, one other item that we want to bring up. At the last meeting, we tabled the appointment of the chair. The history of the, my understanding of the history of the chair role is that it rotates from Jessamine's either judge executive or mayor to Lexington's mayor.
Yes, sir.
And between the last meeting and this meeting, Judge Cassidy and I, we, acknowledged that all the authority and in this role, the significant authority in this role, and how much competition, of course, therefore, is associated with this appointment. And so we just decided to arm wrestle for it. And Mayor Russmeyer, he won. And tell us, he's agreed?
He wasn't there, that's why he got the job.
And I agreed then to pick it up next year. So Mayor Russmeyer will be our chair this year. Okay, anybody got anything else to come before the committee today? Next meeting date is June 22nd at Judge Cassidy's courthouse, right on the square and right where you've got some work going on, don't you, on the street?
Don't want to talk about that either.
Forgive me, Judge. All right, our next meeting is June 22nd at Jessamine County at 2:30, right? Okay. Is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
So moved. Thank you, Judge. Is there a second? Second. Second by Judge Cassidy. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. Motion carries. We are adjourned. All right. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you, everybody.